XSplit has a new setup. Here, let me throw it in front of the screen so you can see it. Look at that. Oops, it didn't pick up on it. All right, you'll have to trust me. It has a new layout. Hi, hi, hi. I'm just here. I'm just here doing nothing. I'm building a foundation and working live and figuring it all out and starting over on purpose. But I'm just building that muscle about pushing the button. So if you're new here, then everything I did before on any of my other videos is different. And that was really just things. But right now it's unpolished, it's raw, it's live, and yeah, there you go. It's just new. And I'm going to do some Photoshop, and I'm going to listen to a bunch of YouTube videos and work for about an hour. So my goal here is just to make sure that I get used to pushing the button to broadcast every day for 1 hour. And once I get things set up, then I'll have more polished videos. But for right now, I'm just here pushing the button. Push the gosh darn button. Okay, so what was that movie? What's his name? Chris is a comedian. Jackie Chan was in the movie. He was with a little Japanese girl, I think, and they were trying to kidnap her to control her dad. And then Chris Tucker, he strapped her full of this bomb, and then he was like, "Hey, I got something you want," and he was like, "Push the button, push the gosh darn button." And then a little girl, she cussed, and he was like, "Hey, what was that movie?" All right, it doesn't matter. All right, so I wanted to say something. I'm going to play this back to myself to see how this sounds. Basically, what I just said to you there. So, quick note. Does that sound like me? So, quick note. I would usually go, so, quick note. Because some of you might be confused. And some of you might not be here at all. That sounds like me. If you land on my page, not my page, if you land on this video and see me live staring at the screen, and I probably won't use the word live. If you land on this video and see me staring at the screen, occasionally talking to absolutely no one, like right now, that's on purpose. I'm not performing, I'm working. I'm rebuilding a few things in real time. My workflow, my rhythm, my life. And instead of disappearing to get ready. Now that doesn't make sense. Not instead of disappearing, because that's like I was here and then I left. So I'll need to fix that. So instead of like building all the crap in the background in secret until I am ready, I'm just gonna do it live. So I'll have to clean that up. And these streams aren't meant for replays, obviously. They're reps, which, yes, they're reps. I like that. Button pushing reps, showing up reps, getting back into the habit reps. And the getting back in the habit is I used to stream on Twitch. Way back. I'm like an old head when it comes to Twitch. I was there when it was Justin TV. Anyway, the polished, curated videos are coming. Promise. But first, the foundation. And foundations aren't very cinematic. That sounds. Aren't very cinematic. We'll have to fix that. So if you're watching, welcome to the quiet middle of things. Not middle, it's the beginning. Why would I write that? What do you think, Saki? What do you think? So if you're welcome to the quiet middle of things, no, beginning of things. And if you're watching this later, congratulations, you found the explanation video. That's it. And then I wrote carry on, but I think I usually say, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I wrote that. Basically, it explains it. I was just figuring I would do like a little quick short right on my YouTube page, so people were like, all right, she has a squirrel feeder, she has MMA, she has BJJ, and she has her staring at the screen while she does nothing. Well, I do stuff, I just don't really talk too much. That's why I listen to videos in the background, so I can comment on them. Alright, so let me see. I don't know, because like my website, I started with just one post, not even a contact page. Like I figure if I'm starting over, I'm bulldozing all that crap down and I'm starting over. Well, with this channel, some of the videos I left up. Some of my like BJJ people were competing way back in the day, and every time I see them, they'll say, "Oh, I was at your page and I was showing somebody that first video or something." Anyway, and then this will be my first polished video. Oh, me making the intro video, the one that's like only a couple seconds long, telling you that I'm like doing the Seinfeld thing where I'm not live, but I'm live, and I'm not talking about anything, but I am talking about stuff. What do you think? So like, yeah, basically Seinfeld, but not dating in New York or life in New York. It's rebuilding a life. The only reason why I use the word Seinfeld is because he always said it was a show about nothing. And that's what I'm doing right now. Live streams about nothing. And at the same time, I'm talking to you, which means I'm talking to nobody. But Saki thinks I'm talking to her. So, yeah. Okay, so there we go. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm supposed to go like this video, but yeah, no, there's really nothing to like right now. So don't like it. And follow, yeah, I'm supposed to say like, follow, and share, but there's nothing to like, there's nothing to follow. But the future, like, I'm rebuilding. So if you were starting at the ground up, you could take all my own old videos and then you could say, oh, well, on this day she did this, and then on this day she did this. If she can do it, I can do it too. So there you go. Maybe it'll be a path for somebody to follow someday. In the meantime, it's just me looking at a camera and talking to Saki. So Saki has a history. And her history is in my old neighborhood. I started feeding 2 cats. That's a long story, and I haven't written it, so Saki has a story, and she's a good girl. She's sticking her claws into my Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. I don't need the skin. I don't need the skin. No. I don't need it. Alright, I want to try to work. Okay. If you see me crying on camera, it's because she's really hurting me. Stop it. That hurts. That hurts. Alright, I'm going to flip back and forth. There's some sort of police shooting. Shots fired. Confirms. Oh. San Jose PD confirms one of its officers has been shot in a shootout. Unknown condition. Yikes. The world is getting angry. We need to stop all this. Sources say the suspects went on a crime spree from San Mateo County to Hollister to San Jose. At least one carjacking. Holy smokes. What in the world?
Here. So I'll get this up in the pipeline here. And
Here, let's go to the live part. Just says shots fired. Let me see. I'm trying to see if there's any update on it. I'm sure there is on. I'm sure there is on X, but I'm not going to do a bunch of typing because I got Saki falling asleep right now. And I'm going to let her fall asleep because she's a sweet little gal. She is. And I'm going to do this. I can work with just a. So there we go. I can work with just one hand if I'm doing a video. And I think I have my professor on one of these. So we'll have him talk too. He has his own talk show. Kid and Play podcast. Kid and Friends. I'll have to look it up.
And they've interrupted our workshop.
It's hard to keep a straight face on this. With the Ku Klux Klan Act. It's a black guy being charged with that. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. But it's essentially illegal to threaten, hurt, or intimidate people to prevent them from exercising their God-given rights.
Wait, am I live?
Attorney General's involved now, and it's not looking great for Donnie. But like I said, he'll enjoy it in prison. He really will.
We will pursue charges in this case. I see various crimes that have occurred. Exactly what they are, I'm not going to flag, but the FACE Act has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act.
I have to go. I want to hear what she's saying, but I want to update this. Apparently, I put this as Sunday. Yeah, no, this isn't made for kids. And it's not Sunday, it was yesterday. So yesterday was Tuesday. So let's correct this. I know I'm letting go of you, girl. So that was number 17 and it was Tuesday. So let's update this. Because even though I'm just pushing the gosh darn button, I'm making mistakes. Because that's just what I do. Alright, let me see these dates. So this one says Sunday also. So let's edit this one. This was Monday. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Because mistakes, that's what I do. Professionalism? Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright, so it looks like we're right again. So it's Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday. Okay, we're good. We are good. And hello, hello. So, alright, there we go. And let me write. Alright, so I want to go here. I need to write something. Oh, I cleared off my desk. And then I put my tablet right there. Alright, well I have my calendar here, so I will write my calendar here. I'll write it on my calendar because I'm not moving. I don't know if you've ever owned a cat or a dog, but when they're in place, you just leave them there. You don't get up, you don't do anything. It's your lap until they no longer want it. And what I want to do is I'm going to try to do a year straight of pushing the button for 1 hour. And I decided that on January 13th. Because I was like randomly doing it and then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to make something about this. So January 13th, and then I'm going to write daily 1 hour streams. And hopefully, eventually, maybe tomorrow, I'll have something for you to watch. But in the meantime, it's snowing on the deer. And Saki's in my lap. Life is covered. Life is covered. It's wonderful. All right, daily 1 hour streams. And then this starts today. And I'll just write that as if I wrote it on the 13th. So there we go. So maybe next January 13th, I can look back at today's and go, oh, what? But no, this is January 21st. I don't know. I'm confusing myself. Does anything make sense? So, I think I figured out my injury. So I think I'll be able to return to jiu-jitsu. And I just thought of that because I was looking at the clock and I was like, oh shoot, it's 10 minutes to 9 and I've only been on here for 16 minutes. And I always think I have to go to bed at 9:30. My alarm will go off because I usually have to get up at 4:44. Here, I wrote it here. Psh, nope, you can't see it. All right, well, trust me, I get up at 4:44 for classes. All right, let's just get some work done. I think you're tired of hearing me ramble. What you'd rather do is watch me stare at a screen. Let's listen to Heavy Duty Country, why he gives, you know what? I want to get back to that, but I think Barron's still on. He has 17,000. That's because he has something to say. I mean, if I had something to say, maybe I could get 1 or 2 people to listen. But Barron's been doing this for a while, so he's not just pushing the button. He's actually a seasoned guy. All right, let's listen to what he has to say. Go.
I can't help but be brought back to Charlie Kirk's death in Orem, Utah on September 10th. He had been, by that time, speaking publicly and eloquently about the deaths in Gaza. He pointed out what he considered the absurdly slow response to the initial Gaza attack. He questioned whether that meant there was a stand-down order that allowed the attack to take place at all, or, at the very least, allowed the attack to be worse than it otherwise would have been. He allegedly lobbied President Trump in June to not strike Iran. He spoke out against a regime change war in Iran. Just 2 days before he passed, he texted that he was left with no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. We still don't know what happened to Charlie Kirk, just like we don't officially know what happened to Thomas Merton. But unlike Thomas Merton, the public investigation into Charlie Kirk's death didn't wait.
Why doesn't Charlie Kirk's wife
Perhaps that gives us a head start over
care
those investigators.
what happened to him?
Merton. So there's your opening statement. That's all you get.
She doesn't seem to care.
A little fuzzy tonight. I thought I fixed that. I will get better. I promise. I promise. I'll get better. All right. Let me kind of give you an idea of where I'm headed tonight. This is going to take me a minute to get everything pulled up here. Tonight we have. Well, I'll just do this. This is a little easier. Tonight we have a kickoff of the Make Heaven Crowded tour. No word yet on whether or not that has anything to do with Charlie Kirk. No word yet. I mean, look, it sounds terrible in the face of what happened on September 10th. We'd like to believe that Charlie did make heaven a little more crowded. But this is the Make Heaven Crowded tour. Tour date's coming soon. Here are the tour stops we know of. The first one says it kicks off in Los Angeles, California. That's not exactly true. It's in Riverside, the Inland Empire. And then they'll go tomorrow to San Diego, California, and then they'll take a few months off and then go to Dallas, then Portland, Maine, Anchorage, and I'm guessing they'll fill in some of these other cities.
Why do they
along the way.
go after so much money?
We'll talk
It's
about
so
whether or not I think anyone should
disgusting.
go to these events. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea. So this is sort
Oh,
of
you
the
can't see what I'm
Make
doing.
America- excuse me, Make Heaven Crowded.
Oh my
Can
gosh, you can't
well,
see what I'm
yes,
doing.
One of the speakers tonight.
So what number
One of
was
the speakers
that?
tonight is, in fact, Miss Erica Kirk.
On
She will be
13.
speaking tonight. Again, right there, Los Angeles, California,
It'll be
January
the
1st,
10th.
4:30 p.m. at Pacific time. It's just a little after 4:50 Pacific time right now, so a couple of hours. They'll be at the Harvest Church, Riverside. We'll take a look at the Harvest Church in just a moment. Because one of the other people speaking tonight is... You're never going to believe it. This is one of the people speaking tonight. His name is Pastor Greg Laurie. He is a confirmed speaker tonight, January 21st, 6:30 p.m., Los Angeles, California. This is his home parish. This is the place he runs. This is the place operated by Greg Laurie. They're doing it at a parish. I wondered when I saw the address and I looked it up and it looked like it was just in a little warehouse. I thought, why are they doing it there? You know, they could host this at a big place. Well, it turns out it's a pretty big place. You click around and look around. It's a pretty big place. But I want to show you something that popped up. This has a dateline of today, as a matter of fact. Now, this has been going on for months, but this is dateline today. This is lawsuits filed against Greg Laurie. He's the guy speaking tonight. And Harvest Christian Fellowship, that's the church hosting the event tonight. And the lawsuits relate to abuse in a Romanian orphanage.
What's
I can't
up
even,
with
for the life of me, with all
them?
of the questions around Erica Kirk past and whether there
Oh
was any
my
kind
gosh,
of
that's
shenaniganry at the
crazy.
Romanian orphanage, I can't for the life of me, in a million years, figure out
Saki, that's
why
crazy.
would you have it hosted, your kickoff event? Why would you have the kickoff event at a place where there are lawsuits filed against the pastor for abuse in a Romanian orphanage? There's sometimes you just sit back and let the news cycle go by and you say, you know what, Greg? We're going to pass on this opportunity to speak at your church. We will find another place in Los Angeles to host it. Particularly if Erica Kirk is the one speaking. Because as you know, there are weird internet rumors that pop up over her time at a Romanian orphanage years ago. But this is it. Another group of plaintiffs, this time including 7 women. So this is 7 more women have filed lawsuits against California megachurch Harvest Christian Fellowship. That's the place where it's happening tonight. And its lead pastor, Greg Laurie, he's the one speaking tonight with Erica Kirk for sexual abuse they claim to have suffered at the hands of Paul Hasgard. They joined a group of 12 lawsuits filed previously by men who say that Hasgard abused them at a children's home in Romania supported
Men?
by Harvest Christian Fellowship. And the idea is, the tie to this guy, Greg Laurie, I think the tie is, hey, you know or should have known that this was going on, and you weren't there. One of the ladies claims that there was sexual abuse. Now, I'll say this. These are just claims. They may or may not have happened. I don't know. I mean, in the American legal system, you could file and say this, and it not be true at all. But come on, it's on the nose. Think about this. It's too on the nose to me. This one claims she was abused from 1998 to 2002 when she was between the ages of 10 and 15. Claims that Hasgard was an employee of this church, Harvest Christian Fellowship.
Twitch.
And they claim he savagely
I did the
molested
whole
and terrorized
beginning.
scores of children. These are horrific claims. Again, don't know
And
if
I
they're true.
never pushed
I'm
the
just
button
reporting
for
to
you.
what's in the news.
So I'll do it
But
again
these are the
tomorrow
claims.
night.
They're on here if you
But
want to
right
look at them. You can
now,
look this up. These
I
are
just
public
had
records.
some work to get done.
But they claim
Sorry
that,
about
prior to
that.
that, he was the head at the Harvest Christian Fellowship, and that Harvest and its leadership turned a blind eye and allowed it to continue. You know, now to their credit, they did issue a statement stating that these they shocked the conscience and they shocked theirs, and they're serious and disturbing allegations, but that they should not be the ones sued. Okay, but I come back to this and I say, how many people do you know that have been credibly accused of human trafficking? I mean,
I don't know
do
any.
you even know one?
No.
Not even doing it, just being in and around it, working for a place where it happened.
No.
Knowing people, working with people who are
No.
alleged to have done it. Most people, the answer is no.
It's
None.
not who I associate
Yes.
with.
Most people have never been anywhere near it. Most people wouldn't know it if it was going on around them because they're so naive to the idea. But here, again, yet again, you get this same group of people howling around with these same allegations, sneaking all
I'm
over.
going to put this screen, I'm going to capture this screen so that you can
When
see
you
what
look
I'm
at
doing.
the Mega Heaven Crowded
So you don't think I'm just
you've got to look
staring
and
at
let
the
me tell you, I had
screen.
tremendous help today. Tremendous help putting the show together. I had, without a doubt, the finest volunteers in the world that helped me. Absolutely, without a doubt, no question, the finest volunteers in the world that helped. One of them is a commenter. We call her Daisy. She's helped get a lot of leaks out of different organizations. She has just helped tremendously every time we've needed it. And I cannot thank Daisy enough for all she has been able to assist with. But let me pull this up, because you're going to think at first this doesn't have much to do with what's going on tonight. I would argue it absolutely has a ton to do with what's going on tonight. I will leave that to you, because that's my professional opinion on whether or not it has anything to do with it or not. Well, let me pull up the... There we go. This is the FARA registration, the Foreign Agents Registration Act of 1938. This is the FARA registration for a company called Show Faith by Works. You guys have brought this up to me over and over and over again on this program. FARA registration for Show Faith by Works. They're based out of San Diego, California. That is where the Turning Point Tour will be heading tomorrow. So they're starting in Riverside, and then they're going immediately the next day to San Diego. So is there a connection to this company with what's going on tonight or what's going on tomorrow? I'm going to argue there is. I'm going to argue there is, and I'm going to use their FARA registrations to solidify my opinion. Now, this company is allegedly run by this guy here, Chad Schnicker. Look him up, your fella. But I want to pull down here. Here's what they're going to do. Describe the nature and the method of performance. Here's what this company intends to do. This is a Christian outreach through various grassroots and digital targeting of Christians in the Western U.S. They'll create a mobile museum to display at churches, Christian colleges, and Christian events. They will target and distribute pro-Israel information online and through targeted geofencing and digital online tools. We'll talk about all of that in a moment, what all that is, that they outline it in this program. They'll have teams of people reaching out to churches and pastors and possibly even Christian social media influencers. Tell me if you've seen Christian social media influencers popping up as if they might have been affected by this. Some of this is still undecided and fluid, but these are the outlets we have planned and proposed. So this is what they have going on. And again, they're doing this on behalf of Israel. Right here. This is they're doing it on behalf of Israel. Now, Israel has every right to come in the United States
My
and,
legs are
and
getting numb.
minister to Christians. That is a legal right. Nothing they're doing here is illegal.
My legs are
Nothing
getting
that, nothing that I'm
numb.
going to say they're doing is illegal. But I ask a question. What if this was a Hindu effort? What if there was a Hindu group out of New Delhi
Saki
and they said, what we're
is.
going to do is we're going to target Christian churches. We're going to spend
You're
millions of
okay?
dollars. We're going to hire somebody to open an LLC here in the United States.
okay.
We're going to spend millions of dollars targeting Christians
Those
with
nails.
Hindu propaganda. Or if you say, well, it's Israel, it's the state of Israel, it's not necessarily the religion of the state of Israel. Okay, so what if it was Russia? And Russia files a FARA registration. What if it was China? What if it was Iran? What if Iran came in here and said, we are going to file a FARA registration, we're going to spend millions of dollars targeting Christians, and we're going to have mobile things, and we're going to geofence churches where Christians go, and then we're going to flood the zone with Iranian propaganda. I want to pay attention to this date here, September 18th, 2025. This was the date of the contract, allegedly, between the foreign government and Show Faith Fireworks, November 18th, 2025. So this was 8 days after Charlie Kirk lost his life. 8 days after Charlie Kirk lost his life. I would be hard-pressed to believe all of this was conducted, planned, organized, and put together in the 8 days between when Charlie Kirk passed away and when this was all signed and filed. This was filed on September 27th. That's important because you have 10 days to file a FAR registration, and they use 9 of them. Now, we keep scrolling. This is a long filing, and we're just going to look at a few different pages of it. But we're going to scroll here. Let me back up the size a little bit as we go.
She's scratching me.
Now, here's what I want to show. Well, I'm going to show a lot. This is one of the things I want to show. This is some of the money.
She's like kneading.
Targeted media, 685,000. Specialist perks, I don't know what that means. Grassroots staff. There's a lot of money flying through this place. Expanded digital outreach. To staff the mobile trailer is 400 grand. They're gonna add some pastoral resources
giggling?
to some of these other Western
Don't
states.
giggle.
And so they've got the original budget
Don't
of
giggle.
3.2 million. They're adding another 835 here. Let me scroll. All right. Notice where this stuff is all being operated out of. Notice where this stuff is being operated out of.
I
Where's
just
the
want
project
some
manager?
sort of-
Riverside. Where is the deputy assistant
Gotcha,
project manager?
gotcha.
Riverside. Ah, great. I knew that was
There
going to
we
happen. I'm
go.
so terrible with technology. There we go. Riverside. Oh, come on. There we go.
Ow.
Where is the media lead? Riverside. Where's the VIP coordinator and op-ed influencer? Riverside. These are all different people, by the way. Where is the existing content compiler? Riverside. Where is the pastoral content coordinator? Riverside. Pastoral resource staff? Riverside. Pastoral resource assistant? Riverside. Pastoral resource package coordinator? Riverside. Southern California regional leader?
What if
Riverside.
he did something like this?
You almost get the idea that this entire operation is based out of Riverside. Here's the Riverside office space, Riverside. Studio design and staging materials, Riverside. Now, they do have a little presence in Denver. There's a few people there in Denver that are doing some local stuff there. A few other people here and there sprinkled around. But the bulk of this operation is being run out of Riverside. And remember, the LLC was set up in San Diego. And so your first two stops, 3 months before there's another stop, your first two stops are tonight in
You know
Riverside,
what?
where
I don't want
everything's being
nightlife. I just want some,
And tomorrow
some
it's
sort of
San
like
Diego,
park in the
where
day.
the operation is headline. Now, the trailer they're talking about is the 10-7 experience. What they're going to do is they're going to put, and we have a presentation here where they put together, they put VR headsets on you and let you experience the 10-7 attack, the October 7th, 2023 attack. You put the headset on, and apparently you experience the attack in virtual reality.
What? That's disgusting. Who wants to do
And then they
that?
got prices next to all that. Now they have targeted geofencing. This is probably the most controversial aspect of this. I'll read it to you in case you can't see it, because this is it right here. This is the largest geofencing and targeted Christian digital campaign ever. This is not a Christian digital campaign. This is a digital campaign targeting Christians. That's different. The largest geofencing and targeted Christian digital campaign ever, meaning of all time. The goal is to geofence
Oh,
the
there we
actual boundaries
go.
of every major church in California, Arizona, Nevada, and Colorado, and all Christian colleges during worship times. Track attendees
Okay,
and
so
continue to target with ads.
I should have just
raised the
came
issue.
here.
Would
Do you
we
see
be
that?
okay with
Okay.
this if this was Iran, if this was Russia, if this was China? Would you be okay
This
with
is
this
good.
if when you went to church on Sunday morning and you show up at your local megachurch and there's 1,000 other people in attendance, if there is a virtual
Backyard
geofence,
view.
if you don't know what a geofence is, it's where they take a virtual boundary and put it around an area. Sometimes it's a building. Sometimes it's a city block. Sometimes
So
it's
let's go to.
and they capture the data from everyone in that area. And they know who you are, they know your phone number, and then they know the unique ID on your phone. Every one of these phones has a unique ID. And they can capture that unique ID. If you have any data transfer at all, they capture that, and then they can specifically track you after you leave. And they can send you targeted messaging, targeted advertising, directly to your phone in support of their mission. So this is the largest geofencing and targeted campaign of all time targeting Christians. And here's the follow-up target. Now this is we are going to geofence our own events, I'll share it again. Just 'cause
Oh.
I like that. I like to share on time. Every time I say I'm going to share something, I like to actually share it. You guys know that. I'm very good about that. I'm going to geofence our own events
This
and other
looks
Christian events
good.
and continue to target Christians with effective ads and calls to action. Continue to target Christians. You Christians, you're just a target. You're just a target. They're going to create and collate social media advertising and distribute through their social media channels and targeted Christians, meaning the people who showed up at church. They're going to work on search engine optimization so that when you do your searches, nearly all web traffic will be redirected to friendly sites that give their answers. So when you go to Google something, you're not going to get an actual answer. You're going to get redirected to their friendly site. They're also going to astroturf this thing. They're going to give you Christian endorsements and events with Christian athletes and celebrities. And they know that the people are basically morons and will go, oh, I didn't know there was a celebrity behind this. Now, this is the number of megachurches in each state, that this is how they quantify. 219 different megachurches in California. Then they got a few in Nevada, Arizona, and Colorado for a total of over 300 megachurches. They're targeting 4 million people, is their estimate. At high estimate, it could be as many as 116,000 that will agree to their programs and attend their events and sign a pledge card. Hopefully, it gets better. This is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. This is wild.
Which one do we like better?
Now, here are the churches.
Pretty much the
Here are
same.
the churches. You go by and look. They start in Arizona. We've got all these churches, including Dream City Church. I think that's the one where Charlie Kirk may have been going. A lot of the TPUSA people are big Dream City Church people. If you scroll down to California, you will find tonight's event. At, where did it go? Right there, Harvest Christian Fellowship, Riverside, California. You see that? Harvest Christian Fellowship. That's where it is tonight. An estimated 14,560 members. This is one of the targets for the geofencing. They have an event. People show up. They geofence it all. Look at all these churches. Unbelievable. These are the denominations they're targeting. So this is an operation run through this company called Havas Media. This is a German company. This Havas Media is a German company. So what Israel did is they contracted with Havas Media, and then Havas Media contracted with Show Faith by Works. Now, I don't know why they went through an intermediary. That's unknown to me. Why didn't they just go directly to Show Faith by Works? I don't know. But they did it through this Havas Media, and so everything has to have both names disclosed on it, Havas Media and the Show Faith by Works. Now, let's see their presentation, because they put it in the campaign. A Christian education and Israeli information campaign. This is what Show Faith by Works is. What are they intending to accomplish? Well, first, they want to combat low American evangelical approval of the nation of Israel. That's the first thing they want to do. They realize that the message they're selling is sucking wind. Not because people don't like the people of Israel, but because we don't necessarily love the foreign policy. And so if you don't love someone's foreign policy, you begin to have a low opinion of the country as a whole.
Oh,
One of the
wait.
reasons people don't like Russia. They don't like their aggressive foreign policy, particularly in the invasion of Ukraine or other places. They're going to use biblical arguments to highlight the importance of Israel and the Jewish people, the Christians. Now, you see this on Twitter all the time. Educate Christians on the historical importance of Israel and the significance of the region. Increase awareness of the Palestinian ties to Hamas and support for terrorism within evangelical populations. Counter new and evolving pro-Palestinian message as the global narrative shifts. So they're admitting they're failing. Like their message campaign is failing. They're going to outreach using personal and professional outreach to the Christian community, large-scale Christian outreach, impressive physical displays of pro-Israel educational materials, and then comprehensive digital targeting and heavy geofencing of all Christian churches in selected markets. So they had a list of a whole bunch of Christian churches. What they're saying here is, no, this is going to be comprehensive. It's going to be heavy, and it's going to be all Christian churches in these markets. Meaning, you just want to go to church. You have a God-given right to go to church, the church of your choice. You have a God-given right to go to church here in America. It's an American right as well. It's listed in the First Amendment. You have a right to assemble with whom you want. You have a freedom of religion to go where you choose. And most of us would like to do it without being tracked. Here's the thing about tracking. They can say we're doing this tracking solely to target you with message from a foreign government. That's what they can say. But if they're giving you messages on behalf of a foreign government, guess who has your information? Think about it. If somebody's been hired to track you, who ultimately is tracking you? The person hiring you. The person doing the hiring, right? Like if I hire you and I say, let me just pull up a random comment. I hire Ezzy Bear. And I say, Ezzy Bear, I'd like you, on my behalf, I'm going to pay you $4 million. And I want you to go geofence and track millions of people at Christian churches all over the state of California, Arizona,
Alright,
Nevada,
that'll look
and
okay.
whatever else.
I'll probably flip it.
I want you to track these people.
Alright.
Ezzy Bear is working at my direction. Who ultimately owns that information? Me. You're getting it on my behalf. You're comprehensively and heavily geofencing all Christian markets, all Christian
I didn't
churches
mean to
markets
close
on my
that.
behalf.
Gosh
Now,
darn
here's the
it.
message. Tell me if you've seen some of these messages in a while, because I bet you have. Messages to pastors and Christians about It's people, it's history, it's biblical significance, it's placed in the Christian New Testament. No. Educational messages about the history of the region, before and after the creation of the state, 1948. Educational message. This is, tell me if you haven't seen these in a while. Question the long-standing policy of a two-state solution. That is the official position of the United States. It has been for a long time. But they want you, they're paying people to force the American public to question the long-standing policy of a two-state solution.
Oh no. When did Kansas say
Christian
that?
Place of Jesus Christmas message.
I was listening today.
It was, and then, it's not good enough for that. Now
Maybe I
we have to go
wasn't
the other way.
listening.
We can't just do pro on one side. We actually have to target the negative. It's a terrorist organization. The people elected the leadership. There was never a state at any time in history. The goals are land focused, not land focused. They're genocidal. Radical Islam. Support for Hamas. Denial of a Trump. I mean, they are admitting up front we are going to target Christians at church and inundate them with these messages. And I can tell you this is working, and this is not limited to this campaign. You know how I know? Because you talk to anyone over the age of 55, and every one of these talking points will spill right out of their mouth. Every single talking point will just begin falling out of their mouth. Every one of these. Why? Because they've heard this for years. Where have they heard it? Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, like the Post, New York Times. Every single one of these talking points just falls out of the mouths of everyone. These are the themes. They've got it broken down nicely. Grassroots organizing. They're going to hire Christian staff. They're going to put staff at Christian colleges, seminaries, churches, and more. So when you send your kids to seminary, this is going to be the education effect. Pastoral resource packages. Build and deploy top-of-the-line mobile displays. We're going to give pastoral messages to Christian leaders so that churches in America will have 3 to 5 minute video messages to play. That includes maps, arranging trips, pro-educational materials, information debunking pro-Palestinian popular arguments. And we got Christian college activities. Can't leave out the kids. Christian podcasts hosted by prominent leaders. Seen any of those lately? Social media influencers. Seen any of those messages lately? Digital support. The mobile experience. This is great. This is a tractor trailer where you go inside and you put on your VR headset and you relive a horrific battle. That's so weird. Then you've got SoCal Harvest. This is, again, Pastor Greg Laurie, the one being sued, related to the human trafficking allegations. This is his operation, October 3rd. They're going to send a team there, and they're going to go to this Harvest Festival event. They're going to go to the Southern Baptist Convention meetings. And they're talking about the Christian message, the Christmas message. We can't have Christmas. We can't even have our own Christmas. Here's the invoice. And the first invoice was for $325,000, and then they're going to show that each one of these invoices is the same, and they'll go out. The first invoice is here on August 25th. Again, 2 weeks before Charlie dies. And then we'll have one 5 days before Charlie dies, and then we'll start sending them every week or two after that, every couple weeks after that, until we're all paid off by December 26th, the day after Christmas. They got detailed budget, where they're going to spend the money. They've got the area mapped out. They've even got the flowchart. Here are some possible celebrity spokespeople. Maybe we'll get Chris Pratt. Maybe we'll get John Voight. Maybe we'll get Tim Tebow. Maybe Steph Curry. Get mega pastor Mark Driscoll. I don't know if you've seen his X feed lately. Pastor Greg Laurie, yeah. Got to get the guy being sued for human trafficking violations. Got to get him in there. Young female college athletes and influencers. They don't know it.
Thank you,
When
Firefly.
you see that, when they're just listing a title, a group, they don't know it. All they're going to do is go look at who has the most NIL money and see if they can give them a little extra to show up and do some of this. This is the 10-7 experience. You show up, you put on this VR headset here, and you relive as if you're in a terror attack, as if you're in a battle, as if you're in some sort of a phase of a war.
That's perfect.
It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. Basically terrorize people. This is your pastoral resource. This is unbelievable. Here's the targeting geofencing strategy. This is the one that bothers me the most. Precision engagement. Location-based targeting. Ensures only our target market sees the ads. They don't want other people to see the ads. They don't want other people to know this advertising is going on. And here are the
Okay,
costs.
so this
Display,
is
audio, and then they got a budget there.
the
There's some
actual
other stuff here.
photo.
This is, in my opinion, wicked. It's just wicked. And I think that's why Erica Kirk is in Riverside. I genuinely believe that's why Erica Kirk is in Riverside. This is the first event. This is the first of the big events they have. Make heaven crowded to it. Arlington, heaven. Now, they may argue this has nothing to do with it. It's just a total coincidence that they're kicking it off at Harvest Church. It's just a total coincidence that they're kicking it off in tiny little Riverside, California. Total coincidence. It has nothing to do with the Make Heaven Crowded Tour. TPUSA has nothing to do with this event, this show Faith by Works. Probably totally unrelated. That's what I think that would be the argument. And I will say this: it's just my opinion that they're related, but it's an opinion formed by educational guests because they have already told you they're going to geofence this particular church.
Oh,
This
okay.
particular church, this particular
I wanna
location,
flip this
with this
over.
particular pastor on board, identified as somebody who is going to be of assistance to them. The whole thing is headquartered in Riverside. That's where they're doing this. And then tomorrow night they'll go to San Diego, where the actual LLC is from, where it's actually located. So that, hey, maybe it's totally unrelated. Maybe it's totally unrelated. But I don't for a second believe that's the case. Not for 1 second do I believe that's the case. It's totally unrelated. But that's just me. That's just me. Now, one of the things I want to begin to develop is a timeline. I want to begin to put together a timeline of dates, important dates, relative to all of these operations. And so we know Charlie Kirk passes away on September 10th. I'm going to show this timeline here. It's not all of it. Go to there. All right, I'm studying. Again, Daisy's done the lion's share of putting this together. So I don't want to steal her thunder. But this is an incredible timeline that's beginning to be put together. Hold on. No, I'm not going to show this tonight. I got to clean it up a little bit.
Is
I
that?
got to clean it up a little bit. But I can
Hold
go
on.
through a little bit of
I
some of the
kept
dates
hearing a
before.
train. It's
So this
it's
Show
on
Faith
the
by
deer
Works was formed on
camp.
August 5th.
Duh, duh,
So
duh.
August 5th, they formed this Show Faith by Works. Well, what's happening in advance of August 5th? You guys remember July, the month before August 5th?
Okay,
when
so
Tucker,
we're gonna
Megan
have
Kelly, Dave
this
Smith, and
like
others were at
this.
TPUSA Summit. That was mid-July. And
I
then you
don't-
remember that there's the retreat in the Hamptons in early August, where Charlie, just 2 or 3 weeks after the event in July, just 2 or 3 weeks later, after Tucker and Megan Kelly and Dave Smith show up at the TPUSA event in Orlando, or Tampa, wherever it was down there. Just 2 or 3 weeks later, there's this event in the Hamptons, August 4th and 5th, and they really put it to Charlie, like, we want to take it to the next level, but you really got to start playing ball. This is absurd what you've been doing. You're playing, you're pussyfooting around. That's the allegation coming out of there. I wasn't there. I'm just telling you what's circulating.
He only has one
You have that in
antler.
July, you have that in August. And the day
I watched the
of
guy
retreat,
who was
August 4th,
reloading
that's when
the
Show Faith
corn and
was
stuff,
August 5th.
and he
It's
found
in
the
San Diego,
other
California on that day. The
antler.
following day is when Charlie shows up to Megan Kelly.
I wonder if it makes his neck feel funny.
He's beside himself, and he gets some very visceral words, if you recall. And then 8 days later, 6, 7, 8 days later, you get that Harrison Smith tweet. Do you remember that Harrison Smith tweet? I'll pull it up if you don't remember it. Let me pause. It's got Ian Carroll ranting in it. Let me pause Ian for just a moment. Don't want that to go out over the air. But you get this Harrison Smith tweet, so I'll get August 5th, this Show Faith by Works is filed, and then a week later, you get this tweet. I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against him. That was August 13th. That was 8 days after the Show Faith by Works was filed. 8 days after the Hamptons meeting. Just 8 days and then 2 weeks after the TPUSA event in Florida. And then a couple days after that tweet goes out, you get the donor event in Aspen. And Candace on her show last night, I was on the show with her, and she said, it was at the donor event in Aspen on August 15th, August 14th, August 15th. It was at that donor event when they asked him, what's going to happen if you die? Who's taking over your spot? Who's taking over...
All right, so I like that background.
Who's taking over
It's
your...
basic. It's
your spot
plain.
if you die? Who's going to do that? And he was like, well, I don't know. Somebody said, well, allegedly, someone heard him say, I think Erica should do it. But I don't know that that's true. But that's supposedly when that happened. So again, Tucker speaks, a couple weeks later, they go to the retreat in the Hamptons. A week later, Harrison Smith says, Charlie's telling people they're going to kill him if he turns on them. A couple weeks later, a week or so later, they're asking him, what happens if you die? August 25th is when they sign the contract with the $3.25 million plus the $800,000 Show Faith by Works does with this Havas Media, and then filing their FAR registration.
Are they fighting?
And it's 2 days after that, 2 days after the
Oh, he's trying to fight with the
the
little
August 25th
one.
day, 2 days later they come out and
He's
they say
one
we're going to
antler.
kick off our tour with Charlie Kirk at UVU.
Aww. He's like,
And then
take
on
me
September 8th,
seriously,
it'll be very
dude.
close to Charlie Kirk passing away. On September 8th, that's when the $2 million donation from Roger Schilling is pulled out of
Let me see
TPUSA, and Charlie Kirk sends a text that says, you're going to cause me to leave the pro-Israel cause. You guys I'm left with no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. That was September 8th. And then 2 days later, he's dead. And we know they're already doing geofencing at this point because Andrew Colbett says they tracked 277,000 cell phones at the Charlie Kirk Memorial on September 22nd, just 12 days after he passed away. So we know they were already tracking phones like that. So this is the beginning of a timeline showing you all of this stuff beginning to click together. Now, in days ahead, I want to show you other things we need to add and sneak into this timeline. Other companies that are doing similar work. other companies doing similar work. But tonight I want to have a little fun before we get there. I was shown 2 photos today, and they blew my mind. I'm going to pull up the first one.
I'm looking for the deer.
What you're going to notice is
Oh dear.
there's a young man walking by himself long after everyone's gone from the Utah Valley University event. This is on September 10th, the day Charlie Kirk passes away. Long after everyone's gone, you'll see trash all over the place. You'll see a wheelchair left aside. I'm always amused when I see pictures of the event and there's a wheelchair. I'm like, where's the person in the wheelchair? How did the person get out? They came in a wheelchair. How did you get out of it? But that's neither here. You'll see a baby carrier out there. There's just trash and sweaters and book bags and bottles of water. There's a Chick-fil-A bag out there. It looks like a Red Bull sitting up. You get all this stuff laying all over the place. So you know people have been gone for a long time. And there's a young man walking off in the background. I don't know if you've seen this picture. I have not seen it. Does anyone recognize that man in the background? Does anyone know who that guy is in the background? If not, I'll zoom in on him. It's a little... I'm waiting. Yes, somebody got it. It's Hunter Kozak. It's the guy, I think. I mean, it looks like him, doesn't it? He's kind of wearing the same suit. He's got a similar haircut. He's got glasses on. It looks like him to me. I can't say definitively it's him. But it sure looks like him. Why is he there this late after everything goes away? So that, I mean, I think that's him.
Oh
But look
shit,
at the, look at
it
the
does.
picture. Why is he still there?
It looks like him.
Literally
He has
everyone
that
else
hump.
appears to be gone from the area at this point. Yeah, there's Hunter Kozak. And there's actually another picture of Hunter. He's walking a little farther into the bush. Now, this is the alleged bush where everybody kept looking that way. I don't think there's anything still going on in the bush this late. But there's Hunter again. So you got a picture of him back here, a picture of him up there. I just don't know where he's going or what he's doing. I don't know why he's still hanging around. You would think he would either have left or...
His baby
I
was
was
just
amused by that.
born or something
That's
weird.
the kind of thing right there where I look and I think, something just done that up there. Now, the credit to this photo is one of the photographers who was there. His website's down there at the bottom right if you want to check. I don't want to take... His name's Trent Nelson. He works for the Salt Lake Tribune. I'm not trying to take credit for this photo. Maybe Trent's imagination. And I didn't find this photo. Daisy found this photo also. So this was an incredible find. Hunter Kozak walking what appears to be hours after it's over, at least an hour maybe, or more. Because if you watch the Life is Driving video, there's people walking all around this place for a long time. I mean, it's really crowded. For a long time after the Big Bang. And now
I don't
you have
like it
a
that-
little scooter right here. I think a cell phone right there. I'm not sure what that is.
We'll
I would
pull
love to
this
get a
up
high quality
again.
image and really zoom in on this.
We'll really do this.
Okay, so again, an hour from now, Erica Kirk and the Make Heaven Crowd Tour will be kicking off, and I don't believe for a second this is unrelated to the targeting strategy that's taking place, that is being paid for by Show Faith by Works, or being conducted by Show Faith by Works. And again, Romanian orphanage, come on, a little too on the nose, just a little too on the nose. All right, let me get to some of your chats. You guys have been very generous, very kind, and very patient as I flailed about looking at all this different stuff here. Hey, Baron, hearty congratulations at Bravo Zulu on your show yesterday with CO. Loved it. What were your sub numbers before announcing that appearance publicly, and now today? 178. I think I was at 161, so that would be over a 10% increase in 1 day. I think, without a doubt, the most subs I've ever had in 1 day. It is at, well, yeah, almost 179 now, 178, 950. So, oh, if you're not a member of the members page, I had an interview with Coach Colin last week. That was dynamite. I went back and watched it again. I loved it. That guy is so good, so good. I really enjoyed having him on. And I'm gonna do more stuff like that. I've got some other people I've been talking to about doing a members thing. I want to get Jason Goodman on. He was the last one I talked to. I want to see if he'll do it this week, sometime this week. Come on to a members chat for an hour or so, answering the question, where's John Cullen? Because he knows more than anybody. He knows more than anybody where John Cullen is. And maybe he'll give us a little hint. Jason, if you listen, maybe a little hint. I like Jason Goodman a lot. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I can't help it. I don't agree with everything he said, but I'm a big fan. You and your family are adorable. Well, thank you. Do you know my family? I would pay for a compilation of your opening statements. They are brilliant. A while back, you mentioned you're a huge EU fan during a cosmological segment. Did that mean electrical universe? If so, please say more. I am yeah, all right, you got me. I am a fan of the electrical universe theory. And a lot of people know what that is, and if you look it up, a lot of mainstream scientists, whack it down, but you know what? A lot of mainstream economists whack down good economic theory. A lot of mainstream foreign policy experts whack down good foreign policy theory. And so I'm not worried that mainstream physicists knock down the electric universe theory. A lot of mainstream physicists knock down the idea that we circled the sun for centuries. I mean, they burned people alive for saying the Earth circled the sun. They burned people alive for saying some of the other planets also circled the sun, and they didn't actually circle us. And so the fact that mainstream physicists, we get this chronocentristic mindset where whatever we know now, we believe it's absolute fact and will never be challenged. And we can. I had this conversation with my wife the other night. You guys have no idea what it's like. I was talking about how the way we live now, one time, at some point in the future, gonna feel very criminal.
Hi,
Like, people
Maya.
out there go, I can't believe, they thought they were living high on. They had cars and electricity and air conditioning. Can you believe it? That's all they had. Because we look back at a couple hundred years ago,
Hi,
like,
Maya.
dirty water. Dirty water, and they had dirt floors. But those people thought they were like at the pinnacle of creation. They could get water whenever they wanted out of the well right behind their house. They were shielded from the rain. They could make candles out of wax. They had cooking utensils. They were like, well, what do you need? If you would have gone back to 1800 and said, hey, one day, hot air will blow out of your walls in the middle of winter. You won't be cold. They'll say, what? Oh, yeah, right out of the wall. Hot air just blowing out of the walls. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. They wouldn't know what to do with that kind of information. And the technology that's coming down the pipe, we wouldn't know what to do with. And our understanding of the universe has changed over time and continues to change over time.
Oh, she
We
does
talk about
K-pop
we learn
stuff.
about History, come up with the theories, mathematical models work themselves out. Actually, math is the biggest problem.
Hey,
I'm a big fan of
Maya.
the electric universe. I think it's cutting edge where physics should be going because I think it's demonstrable. You know how I know that the gravity-centered model doesn't work? You see this headphone case? I can pick it up off the ground. The entire gravity of the entire planet is pulling against it, and I can pick it right up. I get a really weak magnet. I can pick anything metal up. Anything magnetic, I can pick it up. And we're talking trillion, quadrillion, bajillion, gazillions of pounds of mass pulling on that object, and I can just pick it right up. And so, you know, electromagnetism is a far superior, a far stronger force than gravity. So why would we look out at the universe and think gravity controls everything? And because we think gravity controls everything, we look out there and say, oh, there must be dark matter. There must be dark energy. Well, no, that's math failing at scale.
No,
That's gravity
no.
failing at scale. That's all that is. Your math doesn't work, and so you create some variable to make up for the fact that your theory doesn't work at scale. It doesn't work over the galaxies. That's all it is. That's the electric universe in life. And I'm a big fan of it, and nobody can change my mind. So thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Anyone know anything about Mana Church? No. I know about mana. Isn't that what fell from the sky? Actually, the electric universe has a really interesting theory on the mana as well. You know, mana did, well, I don't want to get too. What they describe in the Bible as manna falling, other primitive tribes around the world also experienced the same carbohydrate substance falling from the sky and collecting in rivers and waterways, and they were able to scoop it up and eat it. Pretty wild, huh? In the New World, in Australia, Africa, other people, there are other stories about this carbohydrate mixture falling. Again,
Oh, wait.
there's so much we don't know. So much. I don't know about Mana Church. Met someone setting up a campus in Clarksville. Clarksville, Tennessee? That's not far from me. They're going to put a church near every military base. Sounded weird with everything we've learned lately with how much of it. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. But honestly, you can think of it in a not weird way. I mean, I agree with you, it's weird. But you can think of it in a not weird way because you have this huge unchurched young population of 18 to 22-year-old young men, primarily on military bases. And so why wouldn't you want to reach out to those people, right? If you believe the Christian message and you think they're lost without, why wouldn't you want to reach out? You can look at it both ways. But yeah, I agree with you, it's weird. I just like to see the other side of the argument tested. Hey, if you're not a huge Canada fan, just say and I'll stop sending part of my attention to you. I joke around about Canada. I'll be honest with you. I don't truly have an opinion on Canada. It's not the United States. But I don't really have views. Thank you for your donation, Miss Mayhew.
I think it's
If you didn't miss it, do that.
free.
If you've got enough money to donate to a content creator. I'll say this, I had this conversation actually with Candace yesterday. I don't think she would mind me betraying this conversation. After the show, we were chatting a little bit, and we were talking about shows, independent shows like mine, like hers, like others. I won't sit here and name every independent show, but you know who they are. They're not on the Daily Wire. They're not on these big networks. They're not on Blaze. They're just independent shows. These independent shows, people will either support them or they'll go away. And if they go away, the only thing you have is the show face by works people telling you what to believe. Because they're not going away. And so the great thing about YouTube, the great thing about Rumble, the great thing about Spotify, the great thing about X, is everybody has the potential to find a creator they like and support them. I support several. I went back and looked at my YouTube purchase history the other day. I was like, all right, I gotta dial back to support a little bit. I can't support everybody, but I try. And you guys bless me, I try to bless other people that I believe in, that I look forward to listening to on a regular basis, that edify me, that inform me. But more importantly, I just want these people in the space. I don't look at them as competitors. I look at them as allies. Because if they're not alive, if Wolves in Finance goes under, if Candace goes under, if Ian goes under, if Coach goes under, if Jesse on Fire goes under, if I don't want to start naming people, I'll end up not naming somebody who needs to be named, and I don't want to go down that road. But if some of these people go under, what are you going to look at Ben Shapiro? That's going to be your source of news? Because Ben Shapiro's not going anywhere. He's buying views, allegedly. And so you either support these people or you don't. And that's why when people get mad at me in the comments, I'll never watch your show again. It's fine. Whatever. But, I mean, just understand, you're now stuck with Ben Shapiro if I go under. Like, there's not a lot of us in here. There's just not a ton. Can't believe you didn't wear an IU hoodie. I did today all day. I wore one to the store, and I got a couple of looks. Got a couple of looks in my Indiana hoodie. These are people potentially scared of greatness. They looked at the IU hoodie and thought, there's a national champion. I need to be cautious.
Huh.
I did today. It was a great hoodie. It said Indiana on it. But I didn't wear it. I didn't wear it. So you know what? Hold on. I got to show you something. I don't think they'll care if I tell you. Brandy and Billy sent me this. This is great. Hang on. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be less than 20 seconds.
What if we...
Satellite cord. There we go. Check this out. I got my own Coach Sig sweatshirt. I can swim around in it too. That's huge. But yeah, Coach Sig, the greatest coach of all time, clearly. So yeah, you're actually. I stopped myself. I got a little carried away today. I got a little carried away today, and I'm a sucker for advertising. I get this advertisement, and it's this beautiful IU logo, national championship logo, right? You know, right where the Adidas logo is here, but it's just a little national championship logo. And I thought, oh man,
What if I took?
so I put it in the cart. I don't look at the price. And so I get to the checkout, and it's like $220. I'm like, oh my gosh, I must order like 5 of them. I didn't click the wrong button. I go back, I back out. No, it's just one. The hoodie was $200. It was a 10% sales tax at $220, and then like $25 shipping. So I carefully backed out. I was like, don't hit the wrong button. Don't accidentally buy this. Your credit card's stored. Don't make a mistake. Just ease away from the mouse. You know, it's like, and then I hit it, and then I was able to get out of there. Almost accidentally bought a $200 hoodie. You'll never catch me in the $200 hoodie. I'm not that man. I'm not that guy. What are my thoughts on Jason Goodman and Blake? I don't really know what's going on. I've only one person texted me and said, have you seen this? And showed me, I think maybe Jason's text or somebody's text about it. I really don't know what's going on. I just don't know what's going on. I can ask Jason about it. I got his number. And I wanted to come on, so maybe I'll ask him about it. Oh, Jesse got a letter. So I saw Candace got a letter. I watched her show today, and I saw where she got a letter. Didn't know Jesse got a letter. What did his letter say? Did he read it online? Did he read it? Or did he just put it on Twitter that he got a letter? I have not gotten one.
Jesse got a letter.
Let's just say I haven't yet.
What did Jesse do? Jesse never says anything
No, but-
negative.
Is this from Wolves and Finance? I can't tell. I think he has a video on his. So I have to watch it. I wasn't aware.
Jesse got a letter. Let's check that out.
No, I didn't see it. I'm not big time Hollywood. I'm still over here making a mistake. I can't get in on my show without the whole screen showing. And then when I finally get in, the deck mute button's on. I mean, it's not big time Hollywood. I gotta
Wait,
get
why
one.
do I
I
have
gotta
two
get-
of these?
Coach Colin, the Hoosiers on Monday. Candace on Tuesday. Baron, you are living the dream, my friend. I will say this.
Hey,
That was about as good a 48-hour run as I've been on in a long time. You should have seen me the last 2 minutes of that game. I was a wreck. And I don't take sports that seriously anymore. I didn't think I did. Like I kind of put that
So
behind
why
me.
is this
sort of enjoy
here?
it. If there's a big game and my team loses, whatever. I enjoyed it, fun, had a good time, turned the power off for a bit. It got to me. Like the last 2 minutes in I was a nervous wreck. I was a nervous wreck until the final horn sounded. But yeah, and then Candace the next day. That was a pretty big back-to-back day. Like I don't get too many days like that at my age. My husband's also now an RBP fan. We're wearing our Adidas sweatshirts, Hubby Brown. Myself, Rose, Crisis King, Crisis King indeed. I like that you guys enjoy the program together. Thank you for the tick there, whatever that means. Short fuse tick, is that bomb? Is this a prep? Is there anything you learned from Candace and her team about how she runs things, merch production that you would have? Yes. I took notes, like I said. I don't know if they saw me. When I got back to my car, I got a pretty good memory. When I got back to my car, I sat down and made a list of everything I learned. So I was in her driveway for like 5 minutes, jotting stuff down on my phone. It's a very professional operation. That's all I can say. But I got there a couple hours before they went. I got to watch the tail end of their prep, which was very informative. I got to learn from. We got to have some side conversations on a few non-show related items, which was edifying as well. We did talk merch. We talked production. We talked setup, studio setup, some back end stuff. Guest versus solo. Yeah, I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff, and I had a great time. Like I had a really great time. Like she's such a kind and gracious host. Every time I talked to her, it's like, the very first time I talked to her, she called me. I'm walking through Home Depot. And I looked down and it said, "Get us over." I'm like, "Okay, hello." And it was like I was talking to a long lost friend I hadn't talked to in 5 years. And it was a great conversation, easy going. And then the first time we met in person, it was easy going, nonstop. So she's a very gracious host, a true pro. There's some production stuff she did that blew my mind. I told people close to her. I don't want to get too much into details of it, but
oh no, Jesse's talking about
she's good.
wolves
She's
and
smart. She is
finances.
so sharp. Underestimate her at your peril is all I gotta say. She has got a firm grasp of everything going on. So yeah, I learned a lot. Wow, thank you, the one you feed. It's almost as if TV USA is purposely destroying itself. It feels like it. I don't think that's true, but it sure feels like it.
It
Are they
does
really that
feel.
dumb? I don't know. Or are they up to something else? Cynical here. Is it psychological? Are they rubbing it in our face, making us feel hopeless thoughts? I just feel like they don't think that anything can happen to them. It's like a corrupt.
Oh, there's
neighborhood of a small
Jimmy.
town.
I want to listen
And
to
then you
Jimmy.
realize he's taken the town's savings account and gambled it away, and he's, got 13 children he's fathered all over town. And I mean, just like, the guy just thought he was above every law and didn't care. The sheriff wasn't going to do anything, the mayor wasn't going to, the chief of police wasn't going to do anything, city council wasn't going to do anything, you guys are going to keep voting for me, he just didn't care. He's been mayor 35 years, right? That's the way TPUSA feels. It's like nothing can go wrong, so why would they care? That's what it feels like to me. That's what it feels like to me. And because I can't believe someone would make all these decisions. I cannot believe they would wake up in the morning and say, you know what we ought to do? I know there's all these allegations and they're difficult and they're persistent about Erica Kirk and Romanian orphanages and things that might have happened. And we don't believe it's true. I mean, this is TPUSA talking. We don't believe it's true. But what we ought to do is go host our very first event on our very first new tour kickoff at a church where the guy is alleged to have overseen improprieties at a Romanian orphanage regarding human trafficking and sexual. I mean, what? Why? What are you thinking? I'm not saying you punish the guy if he's not done anything, but maybe host it down the road. If you have to start it in Riverside, you don't have to start in Riverside. Start it in Phoenix, start it in Scottsdale, that's where you will. I don't think it's intentional to like demonically rub our face in it. I think it's, I think it has everything to do with the fact that they just don't imagine it'll ever come back home. National champ, boy, it feels good. Someone asked me the next day, how's it feel? It's like, it feels like being a national champion. That's what it feels like.
I like this.
I'm
So
looking
I'm
at
gonna
the
go
setting.
save as.
I think I can stop. I think I can stop the, someone texted me a fix, but I don't think they fixed it. The focus fix. I gotta figure that out. It's driving me crazy. No, I don't think Joe Rogan's gonna call anytime soon. Maybe. I'll answer if he does. I will say this. Totally different experience being a guest with somebody than running the show. Even though I don't do a great job producing it, and even though the camera's fuzzy, and sometimes the mics don't come on, and sometimes I don't share the footage when I'm showing it, it is still totally different not being in control. Yes, I'm a control freak. I can't help it. And to have to sit there and like be still because I'm on my best behavior at someone else's place. I'm not all wiggly. I'm not getting animated. I'm not screaming. I'm not bad copping in her basement. It's not gonna happen. But no, it's just a totally different experience. And Rogan, I think, would be similar. It's just, Rogan's more interview. Candace wasn't really an interview. It was like, she's covering news, and I'm chiming in, and we're talking about stories we're working on together, or at the same time, and I'm giving
I
my
want
thoughts on stories
stuff
we're
in
working on,
here
that I'm
that's
learning in real time
mine.
with everybody else as she's dropping news on Dave Rubin and others, and I'm like, I had no idea this. But it is totally different. When
Oh, that's what
totally
Jesse
different
had
when
a
you're
thing about.
Totally different when you don't have control of all this. Like, I got a desk between you and me. Totally different. Jesse on Fire's post on X makes it seem like he was sent a letter. I think it's worth checking his YouTube instead, though. X can only post so much. I didn't see a Potbelly. It felt like it when I watched it. Let me look. Top-notch guest, great show today. I read my super chat, percent increases dramatically. Much respect. If I read my super chat, percent increases drastically. I don't know what that means, Cosmo. Yeah, it seems a little Potbelly-ish to me, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'm, you know, we are our own worst critic. I don't want to pull it up and look at myself. That's weird. It looks like a Potbelly. Sorry, guys. I can't help it. Look at this. It looks like a Potbelly. It's right there. You see that? Right in there? Right in that region right in there? It looked weird to me. I kept looking at it and thinking, why do I look like that? Yeah, I'm out here counting carbs, I'm not eating too much, I'm exercising, you know, I'm trying to... And then I look at myself on camera and I'm like, okay, that's why I only let you guys see me from the Adidas logo up. Baron, so excited to see your Kansas show. You both make such a great duo. Keep up the great work. Love your show, and especially seeing the side of your head watching matches from face up. Yeah, she asked me why that happens. She said, why don't you show the videos? Well, I tried. No, she does not. Are you serious? I refuse to believe it. I mean, I believe you, but I refuse to believe it. Oh my gosh, so much I'm watching. I have Pool League. So happy to see you on Kansas Zone Live yesterday. It was great. I love the Joe Rant.
All right,
I'll be
Twitch.
watching when I get home.
Have a
Have great
nice
live. You
night.
rock. Best of the best.
I'm gonna go.
Thank you to Brenda Johnson. I sure appreciate it. Yeah, today was a little more
You
counting
too.
down.
Have a nice night.
than
I'm
sometimes
gonna
it
go.
is. But